Hi, I'm Mark, and today on Outside Views, I want to talk about the impact of Brexit on Irish regions and the cross-border cooperation with Northern Ireland. The UK withdrawal negotiations raised awareness about the positive effects of European integration on regional development and cross-border cooperation in Ireland, and their vulnerability to Brexit. The European Parliament ordered a report on this, explaining and evidencing the impact of Brexit, anticipated, actual, and potential, in a very unique case study. Its focus is on non-trade related matters, including administrative, environmental, and cultural, particularly as managed at local and regional levels. In light of these, it makes recommendations for future territorial cohesion and regional developments in Ireland. And today I want to inform you about the conclusions of this study. The United Kingdom and Ireland's common membership of the European Union aided both the peace process and regional development on the island of Ireland. On January 31st in 2020, the exit of the UK from the EU with Brexit saw the land border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, which is still part of the UK, become an external border of the EU with a third country. Main observations on EU membership saw a catalyst for economic and regional development on the island and a crucial support for the post-1998 agreement peace process. Direct funding, for example through Interreg and Peace, aided mutual beneficial collaborative frameworks and mainly led by local and regional authorities. The regulatory alignment in the single market saw wider and deeper cooperation in different sectors. The immediate impact of Brexit has not been expected to be that a tremendous disruption. In part, this can be attributed to the strength of regional and cross-border partnerships and collaborations that have been built over the last 2 decades. The Irish government, together with local and regional authorities, but also the business community and civic society, have been proactive in taking an all-island and cross-border approach to redressing what issues they can as they arise. However, the effectiveness of such actions is curtailed by other consequences of Brexit. The effects of Brexit are complex and cross-cutting, as we all know, and while its ramifications will evolve over time, not least as the EU-UK relationship adjusts, impacts are already being felt across a range of sectors on the island of Ireland. The most affected include tourism, transport, and environmental protection. The protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland that forms part of the UK withdrawal agreement has avoided the creation of a harder Irish border for the movement of goods, and it has also seen the UK and EU commit to maintaining cross-border cooperation. However, there is still quite a lot that the protocol does not cover, including services. And this means that the potential for regulatory divergence between the UK and EU remains a key concern there. Cross-border cooperation on the island is no longer primarily covered by common EU single market membership, but is facilitated by a complex set of legal agreements and policy arenas. There now are new regulatory borders all around Northern Ireland for various sectors and agencies to navigate. Brexit has given rise to challenges for freedom of movement and cross-border access for work, education, and leisure purposes. These challenges and uncertainties have implications for sustainable growth and the future viability of vitality of the regions across the island of Ireland. Other issues and concerns are expected to grow in significance, including labor rights, recognition of skills and qualifications, data sharing and data protection, and access to research funding, where there are growing differences between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Uncertainty, strains on resources, and difficulties in long-term strategic planning are linked to the political context of the EU-UK relationship, which has also been strained. The Windsor Framework from February 2023 offers hope that both parties will continue to seek agreed solutions to difficulties arising from Northern Ireland's unique position, though. However, it does not ameliorate the political sensitivities that persist and polarize in the region. The destabilization of community and cross-border relations that has occurred post-Brexit will take time to restore. The Peace Plus program is key to the immediate continuity of cross-border funding and relationships. The Strategic Planning and Engagement program under Peace Plus is a welcome addition to the program. With the ending of European social funding in Northern Ireland, however, the scale of social problems that needs to be addressed should not be underestimated. Across the island, some regions continue to lag behind, including those along the border. The uncertainty arising from Brexit compounds fears that already deprived areas, and they will see a decline in economic and social indicators. The role of the EU in addressing the impact of Brexit on the unique situation in Ireland and Northern Ireland is valued and acknowledged for showing flexibility and long-term commitment as necessary. They have some conclusions and policy recommendations in the study for the future that really should be thought about. There is a case to be made for convening a multi-stakeholder symposium to consider a long-term vision for the regions of the island of Ireland. And greater commitment is needed to developing the potential of emerging economic corridors, such as the Dublin-Belfast corridor and the Atlantic Economic Corridor stretching from Derry to Cork. And there's a need for greater promotion of regional models of good practice, such as the Smart Region Initiative in the Southern Region and the Northwest Strategic Growth Partnership in the Northwest, as the name already said. And there is a strong case for better utilizing the institutions of the Good Friday or Belfast Agreement across its three strands to meet the challenges that are being posed by Brexit. And there is a need for an information portal on Brexit and the protocol, but also the Windsor Framework, that is politically neutral and gives clear guidance on decisions making. There is a growing need for an all-island database covering data as it relates to, for example, the economy, health, education, demographics, connectivity, and supply chains. Brexit will necessitate the need for new relationships and new collaborative structures to be established, and this will require financial support. With the conclusion of programs such as Interreg Ireland-Wales, there is a need for long-term funding solutions which support interregional development as well as cross-border cooperation. And so that was just an overview with a few suggestions, but it shows that Brexit makes so many things nobody has thought about in the campaign or didn't want to hear about in the campaign far more difficult. And the everyday life of people is really affected by Brexit there. And that's why solutions have to be found. And I have to stress, pragmatic solutions have to be found. And even with the Northern Ireland Protocol and the Windsor Framework, we have by far not reached the end of that journey. And so a lot still needs to be done. And so we still have to hope that in time we will have a more pragmatic approach by whatever the next British government is towards all the handling of Brexit. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.